Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for ICP. Now, real quick, I'm going to get into the 4-hour count as well as the smaller time frames, but just wanted to make you aware of my YouTube schedule. It's Monday to Friday. These are the assets I cover. So if you want to follow along, be sure to subscribe and get your updates on these assets. Now, let's start out on the 4-hour. We've been analyzing this one for quite a long time. Sometime last year, we were following this. But since the significant low at 280.25, I have this as a wave 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. We had a light retracement on our wave 2. Our wave 4 came right in ideal area between the 382 and the 50. And also note that our third wave was the most extreme in pricing, which is what we want. Nice clean separation, 5 waves within that third. And you can see we came just shy of our extended target for our third. Also, we had our peak volume in our third of the third, as well as peak RSI. Nice divergence between our third and our fifth wave. Now we can also add our base channel, which is the beginning of wave 1. Extend that off the end of wave 2, off the top of wave 1. And the top end of that base channel is where we look for our fourth wave pivot. As you can see, it reacted well to that guideline as well. So after that 5 wave, that concludes a larger wave 1 of 1 larger degree. So after that, we're looking for a 3-wave move down between the 50 and the 78% retracement of the move to the upside. Now, originally we had this as a double zigzag, ABCW, X wave as our triangle, ABCY. Also, W off of X for our Y wave came right to the 100% extension, which is our ideal target there, and right at the golden zone, 618 to the 66. At that point, we were looking for an impulse to the upside. I remember covering this because it could be counted as both ways. It could be an ABC or a 5-wave move if we had a flat for our wave 2. Made things a little bit difficult. Started to second guess it when we had such a deep retracement, although it was in 3 waves, so we were open to the possibility of this extending up for a 3rd wave. Once we started overlapping here and extending out in time, the opportunity for this to be nested 1-2s diminishes significantly, especially when it's taking more and more in time and we can't make up any price. And eventually you come to the conclusion that it's either a corrective move or, what I think is happening here, a triangle. I believe we're very close to finishing and finding a bottom here, and we are completing as a WXYXZ triangle. I've seen this in a lot of different coins pan out, and it seems to be the trend going around. So, based on that, what we're expecting here is a series of 3-wave moves, 5-wave pattern, A, B, C, D, E. And after this E wave completes, we expect thrust to the upside, a 3rd wave off of this 1 and 2, which would be a larger version of this 3rd wave here. That's kind of how the waves work together. So as long as this plays out as a triangle, it very much appears as a triangle. It's either going to work or it's not. That's the best thing about triangles. It either works out or it doesn't, right? Invalidation is very clear. So one thing of note, and I'll explain that in a moment, is that here. In order to stay valid, our E wave cannot come below our C wave, which I have marked out here at 683. So we should be looking for a zigzag pattern here for this E wave, and then a thrust after it has completed to the upside. Now, one thing of note is if our X wave is here, this could also be our A, B, C, D, E, and we actually finished here. And this is our first impulse up after the triangle has completed. But as per trade setups, it doesn't really make a difference because a wave 2 is similar to a wave E. And the only difference would be down the road if we get an extra 4-5 at the end of this impulse in the future. So right now I have this as a WXYXZ, but you can see this is a 3-wave, so our A wave can start here rather than here. Not to overcomplicate things. Both the exact same invalidation level. Whether this is an E wave or a wave 2 and a 1-2, both invalid at that level, which makes things easy for trading purposes. Let's go down to these smaller time frames. Thought I already had this up. Sorry about that, guys. That was for the members video, I believe. So right now, looking for a double zigzag. This can change shape, and it can technically be done already. Right now, see this as a zigzag, ABC. Looking for an X complete, or maybe we're still in the middle of an X wave. It turns into something more complex. And a Y wave to complete. So another ABC. And after this, this is where we want to see our thrust to the upside and complete our Z wave. Now there's many different ways to trade this. Obviously the goal for me is to get as close to the C wave as possible. Hopefully that E wave comes pretty deep without invalidating, because I am going for a third wave, which is way above. Won't give you targets in this one until it completes, but way above here, right? So we're talking about the best risk reward entry if this is a triangle as our Z wave. This is the best possible entry. So depending how this pans out is how I will decide on my entry. I'd prefer just getting a 1-to-1. That would be easy. But sometimes we don't get easy. Where Y equals W, we just come down to say 745-ish. I can take my entry, stop at the low, and just let it go. Either works out or it doesn't, right? But if this turns into something more complex, harder to track, the other option to play it is if say we come down and we start taking off from here like this, what I would do is take a trigger order above the D wave, a couple ticks above, and stop at wherever that E wave ends. Same targets, way back to way above that wave 1. So that's option number 2. And the most risky way to do it would be as soon as we break this X wave, because technically there's an ABC complete here, but it's a very short, it would be a very short Y wave, right? So if you take that entry, trigger in here right above, stop at this low of this wave, that offers you a very good risk reward entry as well. But that has the opportunity to be in the middle of an X wave, and this makes some sort of expanded flat ABC, and then we come down for another zigzag, right? And get our WXY. So many different ways to play this. Looks good though. And if you are a bear and you disagree that this is going to the upside, well, this would be most likely an X wave as an A, B, C, D, E. And this is your E wave if you're a bear. And your entry would be very similar to the downside. Stop at the D wave. Or sorry, stop at the E wave. And you'd be looking for lower. So my anticipation is we move to the upside. That's my bias. But it's going to tell us pretty soon. Is this a triangle to the upside or the downside? We'll know pretty soon. So looking forward to get resolution here. Those are the ways I am going to play it. And we do get our probability shift that we're making move to the upside to pass that 618 of the move to the downside. But it looks good. You can see we're still at that 1-to-1. We're still held the golden zone. We're just extending out in time, right? It's a lot of buying and selling within that triangle. All right, guys. So if you're interested, I started a private Discord. I update this on the regular rather than once a week. I also have other assets I'm covering every day, as well as different assets than on YouTube. So if you're interested in the private Discord, you have all the rules, all my strategies to enter trades, as well as direct access to me. And importantly, if you see in that top left of this picture, you see that Blofin exclusive. I am a partner with Blofin. And if you have a membership to a Discord, you get a up to $300 deposit bonus, as well as a 20% rebate for life on your trades you take, which means when you get charged for trading fees, you get direct deposited into your account a 20% rebate every day. And if you're not interested in that, I also have the YouTube link with the $300 deposit bonus, as well as a 5% rebate for life on your trading fees. So if that interests you, the links are in the description below. Once again, this is my YouTube schedule. Subscribe if you want to follow along, and I'll see you guys on the next one.